As a police drama based on current events, Chicago PD has long sought to emulate Wolf Entertainment's style of telling stories ripped from the headlines. Additionally, it has produced several episodes where intelligence must resolve conflicts by cooperating with officers from other units. These two ideas are combined in Safe Harbor, third episode of Season 11. And although the consistently dependable Marina Squarciati gives another outstanding performance, the show's attempt to address the immigration situation in the United States falls flat. A highlight of Safe Harbor is the performance by Marina Squarciati. Burgess has been on special assignments before. In Chicago PD Season 6, Episode 4, Ride Along, she was assigned to accompany a young woman on a ride-along that did not go well. This episode is not the first time that Burgess has been on a special assignment of any kind. Burgess has the largest heart of everyone in intelligence, if not the whole One Chicago franchise, so this kind of plot makes perfect sense for her. Of course, she would volunteer to help. Tim Burgess is someone who everyone might use in their lives, and Safe Harbor shows why. Despite the desk sergeant's lecture to her and her colleagues about how their duty is to maintain order, Burgess expresses genuine concern for the welfare of the migrants living beyond the 13th District. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, she is the only officer that pursues the suspect vehicle, despite the fact that she has no chance of catching it. Furthermore, Burgess takes the matter personally, as demonstrated by Squarciati's portrayal, particularly after she learns that a fellow police officer is the guilty individual. She comes to Hank Voight unfazed to accuse another cop of wrongdoing, and she even takes money out of her own wallet to support the case's lone witness. Even though Chicago PD has subjected Burgess to enough tragedy for a half-dozen TV characters, Squarciati has consistently captured the idealism that drives Burgess to see the best in people on a show that frequently depicts them at their worst. Naturally, it's important to note that this is the third episode in a row that centers on a single intelligence member. Season 11's Retread's second episode focused on Adam Ruzek's recuperation following Season 10 filming, while the season's opening featured a lot of Haley Upton as Chicago police verified Upstead's divorce. Even yet, it would be fantastic to see more episodes that center on the entire team as opposed to the majority of the characters helping to tell the story of just one person. Squarciati, though, is undeniably excellent anytime Burgess is in the spotlight. The storyline of Safe Harbor is one area where it fails. Since Chicago is one of the cities in the core of the current immigration problem, as reported by CNN and other outlets, this specific ripped from the headlines narrative really makes a lot of sense. It would be odd if the Chicago Police Department avoided bringing up the topic, considering that the department seeks to present tales that accurately depict the realities of local policing. The problem is in the way that tale is presented. It has awkward monologues, cliched guest stars, and a plot twist that some viewers would find insulting. The 13th District Desk Sergeant's remarks from earlier serve as an illustration of this, as he expresses his opinions about the migrants without holding back. As is the initial suspect, who is incredibly one-dimensional and has blatant hatred, when intelligence initially thinks the shooting is a hate crime. He will undoubtedly be nasty and inflammatory, but that is all there is to him. Because of his obviousness, the audience finds it extremely difficult to consider him as a suspect because something else must be going on. And when the true culprit turns out to be a Latino police officer as well, that something else becomes complicated. The fact that the white intelligence unit is the good guys and the Latino figure is the evil may enrage some Chicago police viewers. When Burgess has her last encounter with Danny Alvarado, the show appears to acknowledge this. Alvarado openly calls Burgess a white savior, pointing out that Burgess has a black adopted daughter named Michaela. However, Burgess's response to the criticism doesn't alter the episode's overall perspective. However, the real issue here is the Chicago police's propensity to constantly introduce plot twists, most of them bad. Anyone who has followed the series will not be very surprised to learn that Alvarado has turned from Burgess's buddy to her opponent. Numerous Chicago Police Department officers have been revealed to be corrupt. But is that really a required story twist? Would telling a story about Burgess and Alvarado working together to investigate a hate crime have been too simple? Better yet, what if Dante Torres, who is conspicuously missing from the show, had collaborated with Burgess on the case? Though the show is the gritty, darkest, and most intricate of the One Chicago series, there is one incident in which the story is overly convoluted. It is relevant to talk about the immigration situation, yet the show ultimately reduces to yet another corrupt police drama. There isn't much more depth added by the two explanatory monologues that are included. Burgess telling Ruzek how she feels about the entire scenario, and Alvarado's remarks. It feels like the same concept might have produced an entirely different episode, even within the somewhat constrained parameters of a procedural. The main event of Safe Harbor is Burgess and Ruzek's rekindled engagement. Chicago police has previously seen other Burgess speed bumps that have angered supporters. Naturally, this raises the question of whether Season 11 of the show will see the two walk down the aisle. Fortunately, early signs point to this one sticking. Every one Chicago series features at least one romance, and Chicago PD needs something to take up the hole left by Tracy Spiradaco's impending departure and the divorce of Haley and Jay. Additionally, the writers need to understand how annoying it would be for the whole fan base if a Burgess engagement ended in divorce. Even people who don't support Burgess would like to have some clarity in the personal lives of Burgess and Ruzick.